Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comedy Cellar Tuesdays with me, Dave Juskow and Mike Suarez. Nice to see everybody. It is a freezing cold day in New York City, about 24 degrees, and with winds, not the Santa Ana winds or whatever that is called, but winds make it about, I don't know, in the teens. So that's why it is, even though it looks like I'm outside, I'm not. I'm cozy inside my house. I'm sorry, I saw Marcy's thing and I said, I saw the word disappoint and I was confused, but she's talking about the intro. Thank you, Marcy. A chilly 82 here, you son of a bitch, in Hawaii. You have a lot of, you son of a week late. Nice to see you, Anonymous. Hello, Happy New Year. Yes, Marcy's birthday was terrific. I think she went to the mall or something. She was very excited. Anyway, really nice to see everybody. I hope everybody's having a good new year. I have just been cold and, I'm waiting for it not to be dark at 4:30 anymore. I think I'm done with that. I was having a good time with it, but then after January, everything just kind of sucks. But that's the story. Anyway, here we are today. And if I can tell you, if you were going to come to the Comedy Cellar tonight, which we do this show out of, boy, would you have a great time if you came to the 7:30 McDougal Street show, the old school Comedy Cellar, the one that right behind me. You go downstairs, you would see the host, Matt Richards, who I think is great. Mm-hmm. Then listen to this lineup. It's all our friends. Nick Griffin, Ryan Hamilton, Keith Robinson, and Dave Attell. That's one hell of a show for a regular price ticket at the Comedy Cellar on a random Tuesday at 7:30 at night. It's incredible. The Comedy Cellar is always bringing it. It's always sold out, so you got to get a reservation, although tonight you can stand on the standby line or something, and it is sensational. Yes, Ryan Hamilton opened for Seinfeld a lot at the Beacon, which I'm going to see Sarah Silverman this weekend. She'll be taping her comedy special. I'm excited about that. I'll also be at Don't Tell Mamas tomorrow. I think the girl told me, well, if people aren't buying tickets, they told me that the show might be canceled. I'm like, I'm not telling anybody to buy tickets for Don't Tell Mamas. That's definitely a place you stop by. So I don't know. Right, Mike? I mean, it's like, I'm not telling, this isn't the Comedy Cellar show. I'm not telling people to get tickets in advance. It's just not, it's not cool. Also in the Vegas room, Maddie Weiner will be there, and she's up and coming and really terrific. Been trying to get her for the show for a long time. I'm not sure how to get in touch with her. I can only get in touch with her when I see her. I don't have that kind of relationship I have with the other fellow comedians. So that's the issue. Mike, where were you this weekend?
Where was I? I was in San Antonio and Austin.
You were performing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a show during the year. This will be my first show.
Nice.
Anonymous, I'm going on Friday. On Saturday, I have to go to Connecticut for a birthday party. So, because that's what you do when you're friends with too many people. So, obviously, you heard about these fires, of course, in LA. And it's funny, I watched the football game yesterday, which they moved to Arizona. It's the LA Rams. So the fact that they won that game was incredible because they must have had a lot on their minds. They all live out there, so it's going to be tough. And they had, like a package with the celebrities all looking at you and saying, and a lot of people are just angry because they're like, well, who cares? Because it's just easy to be like, Paris Hilton, I'm sure you'll be able to rebuild, these kind of things, even though I can't even imagine, also for me, I'm like, again, I overlook a brick wall. I'm sorry you lost your house. It's difficult. It's difficult. But of course, you don't want to be like that. However, they were doing a package with all the celebrities having those serious, it is in this time of need and, whatever. But they had Anne Hathaway as the first person. And it's like everyone knows no one likes Anne Hathaway. That's it. You have anyone else you want. They had Bryan Cranston. Everybody's like, yeah, This guy's sending a message. No one likes Anne Hathaway. No one feels sorry for Anne Hathaway. I mean, yes, if her house brand, I feel bad, but don't have her on the package. How do you not know that? Didn't we go through this with COVID already? There's certain people we want to tell their sob stories, and then there's the others where we got a problem. And Anne Hathaway is one of those people. I don't know why, but she's been chosen as the one no one wants to hear from. I think I'm on. See, Anonymous even said, I don't like Anne Hathaway, instead of saying the views on this show are not reflective. You know what I'm saying? So I am not crazy this time. I mean, I'm crazy. Uh, it's kind of funny in the sense of and nobody wants to hear from her. I don't know why. I don't know why she's been the one chosen. Anyway, let's move on. I mean, it's hard to, if we have friends in LA that are watching, as I do actually. My friend Chrissy, we always have watching the show. I hope you're doing okay. Obviously, I don't want my any of my friends to have trouble. I just talked to Sarah. She's like ready to leave, but so far, I've checked on a couple of people that I hadn't heard from or seen on Instagram, and they're ready. But nobody knows what to bring. I was just talking to her. I was like, I don't know. She's like, her boyfriend's like, so what should I pack? And she's like, I don't know what I'd pack either. Passports, they say. I guess if you have pets, that's it. I don't think I have anything that I'd be upset if it all burned down. I, I don't know. I don't have anything. I'd be thrilled if my wardrobe burned down. I mean, as I told you, there's I talk about this, I don't know, every couple of years. There's a movie called The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. And gets a glimpse, as they call it in the movie, of what his life would have been like if he had married Tia Leone. And he's a big executive in New York, very rich and young, has a lot of girlfriends and goes out for nice, expensive dinners. All of a sudden, he ends up in the Jersey suburbs working at a tire store. And, he's just living in a regular house as a regular person. But there's this scene where he goes into his closet and, he still has the mindset of the guy who lives in Manhattan. And he's like, no, oh, no. When he's looking at his clothing, that is what I do when I look in my closet on a daily basis. It's just burn everything and start over. Anyway, I guess the Trump inauguration is happening in a few days. And I just saw who's going to be there. And again, this has nothing to do with Trump, the fact that it's a Trump inauguration. I just wouldn't want to watch a concert with these people anyway. Kid Rock and Carrie Underwood would be there. I would see her, I guess, but Kid Rock not into that idiot Lee Greenwood who sings the Proud to Be an American. Have it anymore. Like, even if you were okay with that song, his voice is shot and it's awful. And then Jason Aldean, who I think was the performer who was performing when that guy shut up Las Vegas, he stinks. And Billy Ray Cyrus. And then it gets like worse or better depending how you look at it. Get ready.
Okay.
We're having, and I don't know what world we're living on when this happens, but the Village People.
Really?
The biggest gay icon on the planet is opening for Trump's inauguration. I don't know how we worked it out. Clearly, it's not the original members, but he dances to that YMCA song, so they're going to be performing. Yes, exactly. Oh my God! At my inauguration, I was thinking about this. When I become president, I would have Green Day, Barry Manilow, and obviously Ariana Grande. So no one would truly know if I was gay or straight. And clearly a selection from the cast of Back to the Future. So, now that would be a show. That would be something else. In the news today, I was reading about Brooke Shields. I don't know if you saw this, Mike. She is mad at two male doctors because she apparently had a seizure not too long ago. And the two male doctors said, "Are you restricting yourself for dietary reasons?" And she found that insulting. You would never ask a guy that. But I take umbrage with this, as if I was a male doctor, I would say the same thing to somebody like Brooke Shields, who used to be a model, is still in the public eye. And why wouldn't you think that she's doing that? Now, the funny thing is it turns out, as she was explaining in the interview to Glamour magazine, that her sodium had tanked because she was drinking too much water for an extended period of time because she was trying to prepare for a show at the Carlisle. And she says she looks younger if she's bloated, which means she was on a form of dietary, whatever you want to call it, restrictions for a show. So it was a complete correct question to ask. The nerve of her calling out these two guys that were just trying to do their job. Would they be upset with, like, maybe you're pregnant? Would that bother her too? This is when it's getting out of control. Then she got upset because apparently she had a vaginal rejuvenation. And the doctor said, I gave you a little bonus while you were under the knife. And she's angry at that comment too. This is a woman that's having, vaginal reconstruction, so her sex life is better. And I guess he did something, I don't know what the fuck it could be, that's nice or made it look better. And you can't joke about that, really. It's a plastic surgery. It is not like she's having a surgery for ovarian cancer or something. You got to be kidding. Shut up. I still am okay with you, and you're getting on my list. It's not just me, right, Mike? I mean, those are stupid things to say, right?
I think so. I agree with you.
I'm on board. I understand guys that talk that way, but these are doctors. And again, it's a plastic surgeon. Why can't he make a joke like that? That's just fucking thing. I'd be thrilled if my doctor joked like that after the surgery. I don't want to hear anything before. I don't want to hear any comedy beforehand. Also, there was a poll apparently for the average bust size, as long as we're talking about the vagina. Let's talk about the boobies. The average bust size of women around the globe, 108 countries were polled to find out which countries had the largest average bust size. The U.S. is 2.
Really?
Yeah. I thought for sure that would be one. It turns out the number 1 is Norway. So I booked a flight there about an hour ago, and we won't be on next week because I'll be traveling there as just kind of an experiment to do some research for this new class I'm teaching, which is called Boobies.
What?
Called
How to Get Kicked Out of Norway.
What?
Called How to Get Kicked Out of Norway.
Exactly. The last country was ironically Greenland, for real. And even though Trump is trying to take it over, now that he knows it's the lowest bust size, maybe he'll stop. Maybe they did that on purpose. Him and his son will just, you know what? Let's not have green. We don't want that part of the U.S. They get the lowest bust size there. And don't think he's not thinking that. That's a real thing he might actually say. So that's not crazy. Meanwhile, God, I hate these stories. A Packers fan, a girl and her fiance, I guess, her husband, they went to an Eagles game. They got this on video where this Eagles fan just called her, this awful dude, was for no reason, just because she was dressed in a Packers jersey, calling her an ugly, dumb C word. And I'm so angry about that. Because remember, I told you a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how this poor little girl, her parents took her to see a Buffalo Bills game, but dressed in 49ers clothes. It wasn't the playoffs or anything. And they threw her downstairs. And that's the Buffalo Bills. Now,
Oh wow.
You have to, when it comes to the Eagles, it's kind of your own fault if you go there in a different jersey. If you want to support the Packers, go there, but don't wear the jersey. That's on you, really. I mean, I don't want to see her treated that way. And this guy, he's right there. I hope somebody realizes who he is. And I hope he just never gets to go to an Eagles game again. I really do. Because if you watch this video, it's absolutely awful. But everyone knows Eagles fans. Like I said, I wouldn't have expected with the Bills fans. You go to the Jets game, you go to the Giants game, you're all going to see other jerseys. Eagles games, we know how they are. Don't go there wearing a different jersey. You're the idiot. I mean, it should never have happened. But it wasn't like a prime seat or anything. They were in the back. That's coming. They handled it very well, but oh my goodness. That kind of stuff just really pissed me off. Last night I was watching the Rams game. It's mostly Vikings fans out there. They moved it to Arizona. It's mostly Vikings fans. And that's the way it would have been at SoFi. Rams fans are awful. Mostly because they lived in St. Louis all that time. It's going to take a long time. Rams, Chargers fans. Speaking of which, I tried our Mr. Pick by myself the other day. Opened one of those Halloween packs I have, with the 3 cards. I'm like, well, let me see if I pick one that's playing this week, and I'll go big on that. And of course, I picked the Chargers, and they sucked. I mean, it was awful. In fact, why don't we get to that, Mike? If you want to play the football intro, and if you don't have it ready, I'm good without it too.
1 second.
All right. Mike, I am sharing my screen already.
Alrighty.
So, here's from last week. Nick, you guys did great. Nick did great. Mike and I did okay. Now that Chargers one, we were all in the Chargers. That was my bet of the week. I don't know what the hell happened. I was at the Devils game, watching it on the screen. Could not believe what was happening. It was so weird that they just fell apart. Houston hasn't been playing good for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. That was weird, but that happens. That's why you play the games. And now Houston's playing the Chiefs this week. That's no fun. We all wanted to see the Chargers play the Chiefs, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Meanwhile, we were all correct on the Ravens. They kicked the Steelers' ass, because then you say the Steelers lost like 5 or 6 games coming into that. They weren't playing very good, and that scenario completely worked out. So whatever. I was the only idiot that picked the Broncos. I thought for some reason they'd keep it close. You guys were smart and picked the Bills, and they pretty much blew them out. The Eagles didn't blow anybody out, but they handily handled Green Bay. Green Bay had a lot of injuries, including their quarterback, even though the Eagles quarterback isn't as good as he should be. Let's talk about that later. That Commanders game, I feel, boy, the Commanders are awesome. They're fun. And I picked the Bucks. Boy, that was me, Mike. We messed up.
Oh, yeah.
Commanders played awesome. The Bucks were just a mess. And then the Rams was my other favorite bet. I felt really good. The Vikings that Sam Darnold, that couldn't have made me happier. He's lost. He's turned into a pumpkin, as Boomer Esiason said last week and this week. He really shit the bed last night. It was awesome. I was at Wings with Chris Murphy and really enjoying. I totally put money on the Chargers this time instead of the over. I haven't bet a team in a long time. And boy, that was fun when you win. So Mike and I went 3-3. So I'm still doing pretty good. But you guys are catching up to me by picking up a game. Mike and Nick are exactly even now that Nick also picked up a game on Mike. I'm stopping sharing now.
All right.
And I'm going to share again, as you tell me is the best way to do this. And let's go to our pick sheet. I'm sharing again.
Skins for the win.
No, you can still say it.
You can say skins. You
Um,
can't say the word before it.
so here's this week. We have Saturday and Sunday games, which of course I'm pissed about because I have stuff to do on Saturday, and I just prefer to just stay home and watch all the games. But we have the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift. At the Houston, we have a problem. Texans, or rather, the Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 7.5. Now, they have been off for 2 weeks. They have not been beating anybody by any kind of margin. The Texans defense last week was, for some reason, phenomenal out of nowhere. But they are the Chiefs, and they're the two-time Super Bowl champs, so it's possible. Any other team, I'd say they're off for 2 weeks. I would take that 7.5. But these guys are the two-time Super Bowl champion, trying to go for a third. It's never been done. So this is a really tough one. Mike, do you have any thoughts? Would you like to go first?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Chiefs.
You're going to go Chiefs.
Yeah,
I don't want to take the Texans because I just feel like the Chiefs are going to put it together.
yeah.
They've been playing bad all season, but I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to bet against them. I'm not going to bet against them. Nick has already told me he's going to bet the Chiefs. Why wouldn't he? He's from there. How about you guys? What are you thinking? I see Chiefs. I see Mahomes. I see KC. We're all going KC. All right. Yeah. Figure they got it. Sooner or later, they have to win by 10. You know? It's squeaking by. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Now, this one's a really tough one, too. Washington they're great. I mean, they got this rookie quarterback is going on. No, I don't think a rookie quarterback's ever won a playoff. So this is a miracle. It's 9.5 points. Mike, you go first.
I'm gonna go skins. You know what? Skins.
Could they really put it together? I mean, it's not like the Lions beat the Vikings wholehearted last because they stink. Sam Darnold stinks. But the Lions have been blowing teams out. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Lions. That never works. The two teams never cover like that, but I gotta go the Lions.
They're going Lions too.
Going Lions as well. And what'd you say, Mike?
They're going Lions. Just only me and Scruffy care about the skins.
Well, that's how you pick up a game. And then on Sunday, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll tell you something. This one is a no-brainer for me. If I'm getting 6 points, the Eagles are not playing very well besides Saquon Barkley. I'm going with the Rams. If I'm getting points, I'm going with the Rams. They've been playing really good, really tough. The Eagles have been playing very strange. The quarterback's a little messed up. Saquon's awesome. That's a fact. But I don't know. LA's defense yesterday was incredible, but the Vikings have been making everybody's defense look incredible, and I don't think it'll be like that. But I have no issue. That is my bet of the week. I think LA to win. Mike.
I agree. Rams.
Nick also picked the Rams. I see Eagles. I see Rams. I see three Eagles and one Rams.
Yep.
I guess you guys are picking the Eagles, and you guys seem to know what you're doing. You are in second place at the moment. Yeah, the Rams are getting hot at the right time. They always say that. They got a great quarterback, great coach. Why not us is the thing. Now, this obviously is the best game of the week. It's the one everybody wanted to see, and they saved it for last. I don't know why I put 4:30. I meant that's 6:30 on Fox. It's prime time, pretty much. 6:30 Sunday night at Buffalo. The Ravens at Buffalo. And I'll tell you, the Ravens are awesome. I'm taking the Bills, and I'm not even going to think about it. They're underdogs in their own stadium. You know that's got to hurt. I love the Bills in this game. I love the Bills. I think they do it. Mike?
I'm going to say Bills too.
Nick picked the Bills as well. And I see a couple of Bills, but I see Ravens. So if one more comes out.
Well, they have two Bills.
I see two Bills and a Ravens.
Right. So Bills overall.
I know. I was waiting for one more. Oh, so I see the Ravens.
2-2. You're right.
I'm going to go Ravens for you guys because ever since I've done that, you've been doing very well. So you're welcome. And there are picks for week 20, the divisional playoffs, where they play for pay. Oh, super fun times. And then there's next week, there'll be 2 games to pick, and then the Super Bowl. Exciting. Well, I guess let's get to the slides for today. I think we have some fun stuff to show you.
All right.
And here we go. I am now sharing, Michael.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess I'm still a little stuffy. I think everybody's sick. I'm not sick, but stuffy a little because
Yeah, I've been stuffy too.
going from cold to hot and cold to hot. That's apparently everybody's sick, but most of the people that are sick are always sick. I asked Molly to be on the show. She's like, "Oh, we all have the flu." I'm like, "You guys are always sick, always." I was talking to Sarah. She's like, "Oh, I got really sick." I'm like, "Well, first of all, you got the worst immune system I've ever seen." So these are people that just aren't usually like. I never get sick. Attell never gets sick. It's very rare for me. But Mike, you know what I'm talking about? There's always those people that are always sick.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
Always sniffling.
Obviously, I'm going to live forever, so it doesn't really matter. Now, going through the slides, here's what we got today. JWB, I say that all the time. Tiny bit of beef. Tiny bit of beef. I think we talked about that the other day. I think we talked about that once in a blue moon. I think even a vegetarian needs a little bit of beef. I really believe that. I think it's like a primal thing that humans need. But just a little.
I agree.
Exactly. Oh, you think he was making a joke?
No, I agree with it.
Yeah. Anyway, this is that Mike Johnson. He got reelected for Speaker of the House. And, this is the guy that, won't do pornography or something with his son. He's trying to.
He won't do pornography with his
I don't
son.
know. Something like one of these assholes that hates porn is trying to get it all. In Florida and Texas, you can't watch Pornhub unless you give them a driver's license. It's insane. Hi, Catalina.
Hey, Cat.
Catalina, where she is, it's the summer, so she's been posting some very sexy photos. No, she's just been posting a lot of fun beach photos. Looks like she's been having a nice summer. And that's kind of fun because even though I don't really care for the summer because I'd rather wear these heavy fleece things, I don't mind. It'll be nice, I guess, to not be freezing. Anyway, this is Jimmy Carter in the Capitol Rotunda. As you know, he died a couple weeks ago, and they've just been parading him around for weeks. And this might be the most incredible shot that everybody's been talking about in the history of the American since it's been formed. I mean, you have the Clintons over here. You got Obama sitting right next to Trump. Then you got Kamala Harris here and the Bidens. I mean, I love this photo. And, the way these two, the Kamala and Trump went at it and they're able to be civil because, it's only Trump that's the wild card. Most people are able to do this. The fact that he tried to put the Hillary in jail and they're sitting right next to each other. It's really fucked up. And it's great. Look, there's Mike Pence in the back who hates Trump. It's great that everybody came together for something like this. It gives me hope for the next 4 years that maybe, maybe we can get a little bit more presidential and do these kind of things, which is wonderful. So we have to hope. And this is, you got to love this. Kamala Harris has to oversee the certification of Trump's election victory because she's fucking vice president. Can you even imagine? Not only do you lose the election to this crazy person, but you got to be you have to be the person officiating that it's official. That's an adult right there. Oh, you already called for the hanging of his husband, right? of her husband, right? Or maybe I don't know. Anyway, and there is his son going to Greenland, getting ready for the big takeover. And this is before they found out that it has the least amount of big boobies. But these guys are nuts. Yeah, we got to take over Greenland. Very important. My first order of business. Although I really want to go there. I want to live in that house. I get the feeling in Greenland there's not going to be any fire issues. But I don't know. And this is Justin Trudeau, and he's resigning. Why? Does anybody know why? I really don't know. Why is he leaving? I don't think he was in any kind of trouble. Do you know, Mike?
There was something going on. Like, I'm not Canadian, so I don't really know. But
he seemed to be beloved, and he seemed to be a really good prime minister. And
his own party was telling him to resign, but I don't know exactly why. His own party was telling him to resign, but I don't know exactly why.
That's too bad. So, obviously, these are the fires in LA, which are pretty fucked up. I mean, that's really does look like the end of the world. And then it's speaking of the end of the world. See, this is an Epiphany parade in Spain. So, again, you got to point out that it's just look at what happens. You know, it's one place in the world, everybody's having a good time, and the other place is suffering. It's the way it works. Meanwhile, I thought this picture was hilarious because I could picture me, this being my house, and I'm just sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm like, what are you guys doing? Hello? Hello? What are you doing? They're right at the front door. I could totally see myself doing. I don't know whether that would be funny years from now if people would find that funny. But like, hello, what's happening? I just woke up. And then you look outside and it's like just horrible. Well, that's bad. Let's just move on. So this is the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And by the way, nobody should be doing dry January. It's stupid. If you want to do anything, do dry February because it's the shortest month. Hello. Dry January is stupid. Anyway, Biden in his last days gave out the Presidential Medal of Freedom to a bunch of folks all sitting together here, which is kind of fun. I thought we'd take a look at some of the people he gave it to. This is Jose Andres. Andre. And I didn't know who he was. Apparently, he started the World Central Kitchen after I think there was like a hurricane or tornado in Haiti. So he taught all these people how to make big vats of food to feed people, which is incredible. Right. He's a famous chef. A week later, you're saying a great guy. Is he? Because here's here he is with Bono, which is funny anyway. But here's a picture with him with the guy that tried to assassinate Trump on the golf course. So I guess that's why Biden gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Good work being friends with that guy. That's nuts, right? This guy just won the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and this guy tried to assassinate Trump. Okay, that's what we're doing. Here's Bono, as we just showed. Bono, obviously one of the coolest guys ever. We know he does a lot of charity work, if you remember correctly. Last year, after October 7th, when I was with my good friend Sacha Baron Cohen, and we were trying to decide how to handle the Israeli-Hamas situation, he was saying, I want to call Bono and tell him to do something at his Sphere residency. And I say, you're not going to get that guy to do anything. He doesn't do anything for anybody but himself. And that was my comedy. And Sasha goes, really? No. He's like the opposite. So that's my run-in with Bono in a way. Even though I was on the phone with him when Sasha called, which was pretty goddamn cool. When Sasha was like, should we have him do the Kaddish? The Kiddush? No, the Kaddish for the dead people. Yeah. And I'm like, you're going to have Bono read Hebrew? Sasha, you're hilarious. Anyway, Bono's the coolest. And he really is super cool, right? I don't love his music, but I respect him as hell, just like Springsteen, you know? I don't love U2, but I respect the hell out of him. And there is Hillary Clinton, somebody else I respect the hell out of. I love that she's getting a Medal of Honor, Medal of Freedom. She should totally do it. She has served this country, whether you like her or not. She has been serving this country for a very long time and mostly doing pretty good. And there's Magic Johnson. I'm not exactly sure why he's getting a Medal of Freedom, except that everybody loves Magic Johnson. So why shouldn't he get one? He's awesome on the court. He's awesome off the court. And if you met him in person, you'd love him. Now, he's 6'9". Biden is not a short man. He's 6 feet tall, but he had to get on his back. Magic had to bend down so he could put it on him. 6'9". Yipes. That's why when Shaq came and was finally 7 feet, we're like, sooner or later, somebody's going to be 7 feet. Well, Shaq showed everybody that that could actually happen. So Magic Johnson was one of them. There, of course, my hero, Michael J. Fox, who, if I was the president, I even said I would have the cast of Back to the Future perform at my inauguration. Well, I would have Michael J. Fox come up and speak for me. Well, maybe not speak, but wave. I don't know what his situation is, but God, I fucking love him. And I hate that he is in bad shape. I fucking hate it. And see, they got to hold him up so he can do it. He's totally beloved as much as Magic Johnson in this world. And here he is with his family. Here are his 2 kids on the side. So that's a young Michael J. Fox Jr. with the glasses on the right. I guess that's his daughter. And on the left are his twin daughters who look just like Tracy Pollan. Huh. And on the right, they look like Michael J. Fox. So, I love that they're still married and that she stayed with him. And I love this photo. I love Michael J. Fox. I just wish somehow he would be fixed and be awesome. And I wish we were friends. He lives here in the city, too. I feel like we should be best friends. I love him.
Right on the doorway.
Hey, Mike, you like big boobs, right? Yeah, she still looks great anonymous. She really does. This is David Rubenstein. I hate this guy. This guy has a show called The David Rubenstein Show on Bloomberg television network. And that's all they play at my office all the time. It's really boring. And the worst part is that's Josh Harris sitting next to him, him and my cousin own the Devils together. But now Josh Harris went off on his own and now owns the Redskins. The Skins. Owns the Commanders. And, he was in the locker room with them when they won the other on Saturday night, Sunday, whatever that was. And they love him in Washington now. He is their new savior. He really picked the team up from that Dan Snyder. But they keep airing this episode, and it's driving me crazy. So I hate David Rubenstein. And this is anybody know?
It's Bill Nye.
Bill Nye. Bill Nye, the science guy. I don't know why he deserves a medal, but he's just been around a long time. And sometimes you get a medal if you've just been around a long time. So pretty much in about 20 years, I'll probably get one of those. And he got it.
Let me say, who's that guy up there with Dave?
That's right. Exactly. Obviously, he won it for being on The Big Bang Theory, in which he did an incredible job. No, but for real, here he is young. I don't think I've ever seen what he looked like young.
He was in a sketch show before Science Guy.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Called Almost Live out of Seattle, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they used to air it on Comedy Central, if I remember correctly. This bald guy was the host, and he would come out, and I remember sitting there back in the 90s going like, or late 80s going like, really? This guy's got a fucking show? Are you fucking kidding me? He's totally prematurely bald and he has a fucking show, a sketch show. I want to die.
It was a sketch show made of all dads. It was weird.
Oh, is that what it was?
No, it just had that vibe.
Yeah, they all look that way. Well, yeah, good point. They all look like that. You're right. But look at Bill Nye. He was in a sketch show, and then he figured it out, and he's the most famous one of them all, and getting the Presidential Freedom Medal. What was it called again? What do I keep forgetting? Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah, the highest honor a civilian can get.
Right. This is Ralph Lauren. Everybody knows what he's famous for, being on that one episode of Friends.
Go back to him.
What?
Go back to him. Give him the medal.
What were you saying?
Let's go back to that photo. And he was.
Which one?
This is the one you're watching right now. The one we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks like he's like the guy from Princess Bride.
Oh, Wallace Shawn.
Yeah.
Vizzini.
Yeah,
inconceivable.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think he's a little older, but see, look at the difference. This was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he was old then, but he looked cool. He is cool. He's ridiculously cool. It's cool that he was in Friends. I mean, if you're going to work at Ralph Lauren and the show, and then you get Ralph Lauren, that's a pretty good deal. But interesting about Ralph Lauren, this is a painting of Fort McHenry that was bombed by the British. It's off of Maryland. And if you look closely, you see the American flag there. And this is what Francis Scott Key saw when he wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Bombs bursting in air, and our flag was still there. So that flag is for real. And Ralph Lauren, because he's a fabric guy, he's trying to keep it intact. It's at a museum. He's trying to get it. I don't think he did a very good job, but he called up all the people he knows in clothing and sewing and said, let's restore this the best we can, because it's extremely important. So that is pretty fucking cool.
That's nice.
That's an American. That's wonderful. And there's Denzel Washington, who I don't really care for as an actor, except I know why he is winning this, because of his role in Carbon Copy, which he obviously, which the best movie ever, where George Segal doesn't realize he has a black son. Oh man. Any resemblance is purely hysterical. The thing is, actually, Denzel, well, he definitely deserves it. He's body work again. He's been around a long time. If you can get out of this movie and win an Oscar or two and still be around, then yes, indeed, you deserve the fucking medal. Well done, Denzel. Well done. And there is Anna Wintour. As a matter of fact, I believe Anonymous was just mentioning my hero, Miranda Priestley, who is technically supposed to be playing Anna Wintour. Now, they made it very clear that Miranda Priestley is not based off Anna Wintour, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The girl that wrote the book, The Devil Wears Prada, was working for Anna Wintour, and it's completely based on her. She's just not allowed to say it. And obviously, this is one of the greatest scenes in motion picture history. And talking about the history of Cerulean, and Oscar de la Renta in 2005 did an entire collection based on, okay, because I'm a homosexual. Anyway, and this interesting person is Dr. Jane Goodall. And you probably have heard of her before. If you don't remember, she's been working for apes, with apes like, what is it, Diane Fossey, I think. Gorillas in the Mist and stuff, but they never made a movie about her, and yet I would know her way before I'd know that other one that Sigourney Weaver played, because this is her super hot, I guess in the 60s when she was young. So she was the real deal. She got them to like them and trust her somehow. But I have known this woman, as I'm sure you have. Anonymous just has been on Bill Maher. Sure. But look at this. She was on The Tonight Show on Johnny Carson. He would always have her on. She was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, mostly because Carson used to have her on, and the fucking Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. That's fantastic. I mean, that's wow. Again, what did I say? You've been around long enough. But she totally is deserving of it. Her research is incredible. Trying to figure out all the answers of the human race and apes and all that kind of stuff. Fascinating woman. Fascinating woman. And finally, I like this picture. It's from the Lions game before they played the Vikings last week. And I've never seen a football game in a dome. And I think I would like that very much. That's why it looks so fun. I've only seen it outdoor. I've seen a baseball game in a dome, which down at the Rays, which was really interesting. I'd like to see a football game in a dome. That sounds better. Temperature controlled, everything, that sounds better. I don't know. I mean, when you're watching the game in Buffalo, maybe it'll snow Sunday. That'd be great. But I see a lot of football games, and it sucks when you're there. But on TV, I don't want anybody to ever build a dome. I want to see the elements. But for betting, I'd like a dome in every stadium because I always forget. I sit there, I make my bets, and I'm like, oh, crap, I didn't know it was going to rain. So just being a degenerate gambler, that would be an issue. JWB, go to a game in New Orleans would be awesome. That would be really interesting. Boy, that would be something else. Anyway, I think that was a fun bunch of slides. Now, next week, I have asked Russ and Nick to come back on because we're going out for Attell's birthday after.
Oh, nice.
Which is at Nick's birthday, going out for Attell's birthday. Russ is in February, and then mine's in August. I'm always in troublemaker. Even my own house. My father's birthday was in February. My sister's in March. My mother's in April. And then I'm in August. So I always throw off everybody's birthday somehow. It's so funny how it's we always go out celebrate, and it was better with Artie because at least his was in October. So the two of us were we were able to mix it up. Now it's just 3 in a row. Anyway, I've asked them to come into the studio. We'll be in studio next week. And I have a really fun game to play, because I think we had a really good time with the 500, naming those comedians. I just told Sarah about it. She goes, oh, my God, that would be so much fun. So I thought of something else. I hope they'll come on. I know Russ doesn't like it too much, but hopefully at least Nick will come by and make the picks with us for the championship game, the second to last game of the season. And then after that, there's nothing. And then, of course, Super Bowl Sunday should be the only way that Super Bowl should be bad is if the Texans end up playing, I don't know who sucks, who's no fun. What we all want to see is the Lions and the Bills, only because somebody who's never won a Super Bowl will win a Super Bowl.
That'd be great.
So that would be exciting, regardless, but
it'll just be the Rams again.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I think the Rams might play the Chiefs, but we'll see. Anyway, Mike, where will you be performing this week?
Friday I'll be at the station downtown San Antonio, and then I'll be back in the city after that.
Back in the city, where we'll be in our comfy little studio next Tuesday. I will be at Don't Tell Mamas. Don't tell anybody that I'm going to be there. And then I don't know. We'll see what happens after that. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. Again, hopefully next week, our guest will at least be Nick Griffin. And I hope everybody has a delightful week. I hope you do well in football. And I'll see everybody. I hope everybody has a nice holiday, Martin Luther King Day. And we'll see you the day after that. So for me and Mike Suarez, good night, everybody, from the Comedy Cellar. See you next week.